There's something deep inside. There's nowhere to hide. Soul Talking. Hi everybody and welcome to my brand new interview series, Soul Talking. This is series 2, this is episode 5, and it's all about sitting down with like-minded people, some of who've been on my courses, spiritual people with a passion for animals, and just having a chat about their lives and who they are really. And today I am sitting down with the very strong and beautiful Carol Walker. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Richard.
Carol, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I'm very grateful. I really am. I'm
It's a pleasure.
so excited to have you here. Guys, wait for this. Right. Carol. Carol lives in near Rochester with her husband, Terry. Carol says she always knew there was more to life than simply existing on this planet. She always felt there was so much more, and along her journey, she found it through her spirituality. Carol loves all animals and is especially drawn to dogs. And not only is Carol an animal communicator, but she's also a Reiki Master Teacher, a personal trainer, and my muscles are nowhere like yours, Carol. She's a natural bodybuilder. Carol's been on 2 of my animal communication courses. She's done the 2-day, I think last year, no,
Yeah.
before, and then she did the advanced animal communication course as well. And I love this, what Carol wrote in a bio. Carol said that she's learning to embrace the lessons and experiences with more love and understanding in life, but also more compassion for herself. And in the last few years, she's discovered more of who she truly is and her connection to source, or home, as we call it. This incredible energy that she channels into, that connects her and encourages her to retreat when she needs to, rest, recharge, and replenish. Carol,
Absolutely.
welcome.
Thank you, Richard.
Can we go back to kind of your earliest memories of your family life,
Yeah.
and then we'll lead into kind of your first experiences in with spirituality, really, as a kid,
Okay.
animals. So
Oh,
where do we go? Let's start.
okay. Well, I mean, as a child, yeah, childhood was okay. I mean, nothing like it wasn't an awful childhood,
Right.
but it
Okay.
wasn't amazing.
Right. Okay.
Um,
When you say that,
I
what
was,
do you mean? So what do you mean by that? Kind of like it, just kind of like just average, kind of.
yeah, I think, well, I was the youngest of 3.
Yeah.
Um, And I think life got just quite busy for my parents. So I always felt like I was a little bit missed,
Right.
a little bit unheard,
Yeah.
which, yeah, a little bit unheard, a little bit seen. And I think I kind of grew up feeling a bit lost and never really felt like I fitted in
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be like friendship groups, but I was never like a part of those friendship groups. I kind of grew up like that. I mean, I've got more friends now than I probably ever had growing up.
Did you
Um,
not have many friends at school?
uh, 1 or 2, but I was never kind of in a group of friends. I just never felt like I really fitted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just didn't happen. I think I was quite shy
Right. Okay.
as a child.
What did you enjoy doing as a kid?
Gosh, I was often out on my own. So I would be the one that was getting up early, taking the dog out for a walk, disappearing over the woods or the fields and
Oh, wow.
out and about. Yeah, where we lived, we backed onto woods. There were like woods and some farmland. So I'd always be over there with the dog.
How old were you when you had your first dog in your life?
Oh gosh. I reckon I must have been like about 5 or 6.
You remember that?
Vaguely, yeah, we had a dog called Judy. I remember, and I do remember her, and I've seen like we've had photos and that of her.
What was she?
She was, I think she was a Alsatian cross, if I recall,
Right.
and probably a few other crosses in there as well. Probably more of a Heinz 57, I would imagine. And I can remember, like, I'd sit there. I don't think even my family knew this actually, but I'd sit there and read her these little poems that I'd written.
Did you?
Um, and I used to kind of, it's really strange that I've ended up here because I used to like read things to her and
Yeah.
expect her to kind of answer me somehow. I had no idea then how this all worked, but it was just I don't know. I think as a kid you just do things naturally
Of course.
without questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all along, even then, you were doing a form of animal communication.
Yeah, I didn't realize it, but yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I guess at that age you weren't really hearing them in the way that you hear them now.
No, no.
That's
No, I never
amazing.
heard any answers.
Were you spiritual as a child?
Oh,
Like they talk about having some of us, I mean, I had pretend friends, but they weren't pretend friends. I was seeing spirit around me even at a very early
mm.
age. Did you have those experiences?
Not in that way. No, so I never had a pretend friend. I never saw things, but I always felt, I think I always felt that there was more. I knew that there was more,
Even then?
even way back from as long as I can remember, I knew that there was more than this earth. And
Wow.
just living, working for a living and then dying. I can remember
Mm.
saying, oh, as a child, saying things to my dad like, oh, this isn't it. There's people up there, there's people up there.
Did you?
But I didn't, then I probably, they used to probably say to me, you don't know what you're talking about.
So you
Um,
believed it, Carol. It's like
yeah,
you knew you had inside of your soul that belief even then. That
yeah,
just natural,
yeah,
yes, there's more to it all.
definitely. I don't think I would have been able to put it in any kind of constructive, explainable way.
Yeah.
But, at that age then, it was just a knowing that there was more,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
knowing that
I
there
get it.
was,
Wow.
yeah, something else.
Wow. And then so you went to secondary school,
Yeah.
start to have an idea what you wanted to do with your life at that point?
Oh, gosh, secondary school was pretty rough.
Was it?
It was, yeah. I think I was one of those teenagers that, I mean, I was really short, which, makes you sort of different. I had really bad acne.
Did you get bullied for that?
Oh, I wouldn't say I got severely bullied. I think I learned to hide. I learned to be, I don't know, almost invisible. I know that sounds a bit weird, but you
Right.
can just, be
Mm.
quiet, not make a scene, not draw attention to yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd always kind of fell into that, I suppose.
What did you do after school? I mean, did you go to college, university, or anything?
No, I didn't. I didn't do any of that. So my first job was just working in retail,
Right.
um, which was all right. I didn't mind that. And then I did that for quite a few years, and then I went into care. So working in care homes,
Right.
I loved that.
Did you?
I really enjoyed that. Yeah, just really nice to connect with people that were older. And
Yeah.
I always kind of thought, oh, you've got so much. They'd
Yeah.
all have this story
Yeah.
to tell.
Yeah.
And the humor as well.
Yeah.
There was so many that wanted to be funny and had such a good sense of humor,
Yeah.
but not enough people to
I
listen.
can imagine you'd have been amazing at that because you've got that empathy and that care. So I guess after that, how did you get into all this? All this weight?
Bodybuilding,
Oh
this.
my, look at it. What was it
I,
all about?
so When I left the care home, it
Mm.
was really to when I was pregnant. So I had two children. Um,
Didn't realise you've got
and
children.
yeah, I've got a son and a daughter
Introduce them.
and grandchildren.
Okay. What's their
But
name? What's your children's names?
Luke and Tonya.
Okay, so this is Carol, and she also, as well as husband Terry, has two children, Luke and
Tonya.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, so what started it? Do you know, I had a bit of an epiphany moment.
Right.
So I'd kind of like dipped in and out of exercise, but hadn't done loads. And then I can remember it was literally a single moment of being on the school run one day and just stood in the playground thinking I was I was probably mid to late 30s. And I
Okay.
thought, gosh, I'm just getting old and fat. And and I thought, I don't want to get old and fat.
Yeah.
I want to do something,
Yeah.
and I remember going home and saying to my husband then at the time, I want to do something. I want to train. I want to
Yeah.
do bodybuilding.
You just
Um,
knew. You just knew that's what you wanted to do.
well, he was quite into like watching bodybuilding, and
Right.
he'd done a little bit. So I kind of made the decision then and there to just go for it, to just,
Wow.
do it. And I think I did my first competition, I reckon probably about 18 months to almost maybe 2 years after. Um, and discovered that I'd got good genetics for packing on muscle.
Yeah.
Being short limbed, it was one of those things that actually being short worked.
Yeah.
Um,
And now
and
look at
it,
you. You're like Shira, Princess of Power. What is that whole ethos with the bodybuilding that you love?
I think, and this has been there all the way through. When I started to train, when I started to like lift the weights and push the weights and really push myself
Yeah.
on a physical level, it started to change me on the inside.
Did it?
I became more confident.
Right.
That was probably one of the major changes was just my confidence and self-belief. Um,
Right.
it just I absolutely loved and still love that feeling of being strong. Um, and being able to, lift a heavy weight and do things that, being physically strong enough to do.
Yeah.
And it was empowering.
By doing something externally also becomes an internal sort of outlook and
Yeah,
feeling as well. So you've got the body confidence, you've feeling stronger, you feel empowered,
yeah,
and it also starts to just make you see things differently or how you feel in life.
definitely. Yeah. Because I think prior to this,
Mm.
and even to a point during this time that I was sort of competing and, and training, I'd always been someone who would like a bit of a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I'd always like say, yes, okay, yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
really.
I would
Yeah.
never object.
Okay.
Um, and some of that not speaking out was through fear. And then I think it just became conditioning.
Okay.
Um, and I think I kind of almost got to the point where if someone asked me, what do you think about this? Do you like this? I'd kind of find myself checking in with my husband. What, the stronger I got on a physical level, the more confident and stronger I felt on the inside.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I want to make my own mind up about things. It was just started to change internally as well.
Yeah. Where
Mm.
was the epiphany with your spirituality? Can you remember when that started, or did something happen? I mean, did something happen? Come on, Carol, give us the lowdown.
So I had a time of going to church,
Yeah,
and I think it was part of my journey of searching, of
yeah,
looking for. there's something that I knew was there that I wasn't finding.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
and I'd spend this time in church, and a couple of different times when, you know, I'd sit there and just be listening to something, and I know, and just thinking, no, this isn't what I'm looking for. This isn't it. And then I stopped going and just kind of did my own thing. You know, I was doing my competing. I trained as a PT, and then lockdown happened.
yeah.
So that literally stopped overnight. You know,
Right. So
no
that was
no
the
one
big
was going to come
one.
for PT.
Yeah.
But what it did was it just gave me time.
Mm.
Um, and then I started doing a bit of yoga, still training. Um, and then got into doing some meditation as well. That's where I really discovered this spiritual path,
Through
was
meditation.
meditation.
What kind of
Yeah.
meditations?
Oh gosh, I would do all sorts. So I'd just go on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I'd find a voice that resonated, that I liked. Um, and I just think, oh, connect with your spirit guides, or connect with
Yeah.
a spirit animal, or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever. And I would just think, oh, I'll do that one. Which was really cool, you know, and lots of different experiences through that.
Really good experiences.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
Um,
what way?
I,
What
in
kind
what way?
yeah, what kind of things happened?
So I would, so when I was meditating, um, it was like I would suddenly get an understanding of something. And I really started to journal. You know, I'd write
Yeah.
everything down. I'd write down what I felt. You know, with the guided meditations, there was that encouragement to do that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, you
Yeah.
know. So I would, you know, I'd write things down, just became more aware of presences. Is that a rush? Presences,
Yeah.
presence of an energy, if you like,
Around. Okay, yeah.
as opposed to, you know, I didn't see, um, but I would be aware of something, and I've always been quite attuned or in tune with my emotions,
Yeah.
as you know from your courses.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I would very much feel and still do the emotions of something.
Right, okay.
Um, and visually, not like visually as in looking with these eyes.
Feel. Was it a feel?
Yeah, I would feel it, but with my eyes closed, I'd see it in my mind's eye, or my third eye,
Third
maybe.
eye. Yeah.
But it would be that visualization, or yeah, just being aware of that in my inner
And
vision.
how does energy feel around you when you're meditating?
It's like you're just aware of a presence. You know, if someone stands next to you,
Just feel it, yeah.
there's like, and you know they're there. If you close your eyes, you know there's that presence there. It's like that. I mean, now when I work with energy, I
Yeah.
tend to feel, I'll feel it in my hands, I'll feel
Yeah.
it in my heart
Yeah.
center,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
We talk about it on the courses, doing this till we feel where that
Yeah,
energy is. And it's like
yeah.
you can't see it, but you can just
No, but
feel it, can't you?
it's
Mold it.
like a pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
there's almost like a resistance because there is something like there, like a mass.
yeah,
So amazing. And
yeah,
some people talk about having that feeling of like ripples, like, they talk about almost like someone's walked over their grave and all the hairs stand up.
yeah,
They feel this really weird. I get like a warm surge of energy sensation through my body when someone's really close or
yeah.
really close. But you're getting that feel for it. I get it. That,
And also, I think the emotion,
hmm,
um, I think the emotion is quite a strong thing for me as well. I mean, you know, and I call them truth bumps, when you get those chills or the goosebumps. And sometimes I'll just start crying, and it's, you know, now I kind of have a little bit more control with that.
hmm.
Um, but it's just that overwhelming, mostly it's that overwhelming love
Yeah.
when you're connected with spirit or someone of spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Um,
get it. I get it. And meditation can be used for so many different areas. I mean, we've got it where it's very much in nowadays for mindfulness to help people,
mm,
especially since COVID, that whole
yeah.
situation. But it also for spirituality and just kind of like developing and becoming more enlightened. Did you set out to do meditation to understand the big questions and what the truth really was through meditation, or did you set out doing it for mindfulness originally?
It was to connect with what I knew there was more of.
The
It
source.
was all about connecting, yeah, connecting with source, connecting with spirit guides, connecting with that other dimension, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always knew it was there.
Where were the animals at this point? What animals were in your life?
We had Amber then, my dog, who
Uh,
is with me now. I was starting to work from home at that point,
yeah.
as a PT with a gym that we've got. And my husband Terry was working night. So it was kind of, I started looking at the possibility of adopting a rescue dog, taking in a rescue.
Okay.
And there was a charity that basically rehome them into the UK from Cyprus. And literally, the dogs could go anywhere, you know, Highlands of Scotland, down south, anywhere. She ended up going to a foster 5 miles away. And I'd seen her on the website, but not kind of done anything about it. And I thought, well, that's if that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
It was meant to be. I
Um,
mean, I've worked with her,
yeah,
haven't I? That's how we
yes,
first
yeah,
met, all started speaking, was working with Amber. But as I always say, as they've always shown, they always choose us.
absolutely.
She made that happen. You were that beacon of light that she was gravitating towards you and your family. You were obviously at the right place. They are our
Yeah,
teachers. They know
absolutely.
when we need
Yeah,
them, when we're open. What is it? When the student's ready, the teacher comes, and she's a
yeah,
really powerful teacher. So what is it like having her in your life?
amazing. She's so calm.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that she's calm in like the aspects of my work. I mean, she loves a ball chase. She'll get excited. She'll do zoomies in the garden. But if I'm doing a personal training session, she'll like meet and greet, and then she'll sit and wait. You know, she'll lay down, and
Yeah.
once we come to the end of the session,
Yeah.
she'll get up, have a stretch, and then she's kind of back in there. You know,
Feels the energy.
initiate.
The with Bella, our dog in our lives, she's lively and full of it. But then when I come to doing my work, my animal communications, she just goes into a trance. She just lies with
Yeah,
me on her back. It's like she's part of it. She's
yeah,
bringing that energy. Do you feel
yeah.
with Amber that when you're doing healing, and do you feel that she's involved in some way with her
Oh,
energy?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. So when I'm doing Reiki
Yeah.
or healing,
Yeah.
she'll come up with me to my room, where
Oh,
did this room that I'm in now, and
yeah.
she's here now. She's laying on the bed on the couch.
Can we have a look at
Um,
her?
let's see if I can turn it.
Hello, beautiful.
Amber,
She's sleeping.
Amber.
Hello.
Good girl.
Oh, oh, bless her. Oh,
She's
that's
like, why are you
amazing.
disturbing me?
I know, but I had to show people. We had to show them. We're talking about her.
Absolutely.
So this is
Yeah.
your healing room.
Yes.
Got your
Yeah.
crystals there.
Yeah. I got a few crystals.
So you're a Reiki Master Teacher.
Yeah.
When did you do all of that? When did you start your journey into Reiki, Carol?
So that was about the same time as during lockdown,
Yeah,
when I had that time to sit still and just,
yeah,
sit back and reflect, as
yeah.
many did. And through a friend, I was introduced to a Reiki tutor, Um, and I didn't hesitate. I think with the meditations that I'd been doing, it was one of those things that I knew inside that I had to do. It always felt like it was part of me.
Mm,
Um, it was just finding the way into it and learning it and understanding, I suppose, the energy.
yeah. But Carol, from the moment that I met you, from the moment that I worked with Amber, she said you were a healer.
Uh,
And every time you've come on the courses, the different courses, your aura, the layers just show me this beautiful pale blue color of the healing that you are. I say this to you every time. You are an animal communicator, but you're a healer as well. And
Yeah,
it's so powerful. So obviously you've been drawn into Reiki. That is healing with energy.
yeah,
So you did
yeah.
that, then you learnt symbols and you progressed. Then you became a teacher. So do you teach it?
Not at the minute.
Right.
So with Reiki, no, to be honest, I haven't had the, well, I say I haven't had the time. I guess partly I haven't had the time um, to sit down and put a course together.
Yeah. Did you do it more for you than having a plan to do that for other people, to help other
Probably, yeah. I mean,
you?
I still teach. So one of the things that I offer to people is to teach them how to meditate and
Yeah.
how to connect with the energy, how to connect with source and their guides,
Yeah.
um, and how to like connect with
Hello,
and channel that
Amber.
energy.
Amber. Well, she's connecting with your energy right now. Hey, Amber. Um, and you talk about source.
It's I feel that it's the place where it's not only an energy that we channel,
Mhm.
but I feel it's an energy that I retreat into. So, if I don't meditate, I start getting very much in my ego.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Interesting. So it's the connection to source, the connection to home, where we come from,
Yeah,
that regular connection work keeps you focused on what it's really all
yeah,
about
yeah.
and
It
helps you
keeps
with
me in that
ego.
state of, sorry,
It helps you with ego,
it keeps me in that state of peace. And I
suppresses ego
think that
down, doesn't it?
unconditional love,
Yeah. Yeah.
that unconditional love that enables us, I think, to choose right, to make the right choices, to think about things before you make the decisions,
Mm,
and just try to be empathetic,
yeah.
empathic,
Yeah. Both of
understanding,
those.
compassionate, one of those. Um, but
Passionate.
also, yeah, and also to have compassion for yourself, for myself
Of
in this
course.
journey, because we're never going to get it right all the time, are we? It's
It has
just,
to start with us, doesn't it? That love has to
yeah,
start with us. And from that love, we
absolutely.
grow out with
Mm,
compassion, with empathy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's
that's
having, I think what I've learned is having unconditional love for ourselves is one of the key things to being in that energy and resting in that energy and being being that person from that energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. Self-love's what it's all about. You're absolutely right. It's the key. But when I talk about this with a lot of people, they feel in some way, oh, I can't be telling myself I love myself or doing things for me. I'm too busy doing things for everybody else. But of
Yeah,
course, it's vital to our
yeah,
enlightenment and growth that we
yeah.
go, we need to stop for a minute. We need to start taking
Mm.
better care of ourselves, looking after ourselves more in every way.
Otherwise, you just give of your energy. Um,
You're doing it, Carol. It's like the way I see you in so many colors, but the way I see you is you're, a lot of people start from the inside, growing, becoming enlightened. and then it comes to the outside. And then at that point, they start thinking about their health and about a better way of
Yeah.
life and what they eat, etc. For you, it's like it started from the outside.
Yeah.
You know, it started
Yeah.
from the outside. I mean, it was there, but it's like that connection in some way, that empowerment that brought that confidence that got you out there searching for what you
Yeah.
always believed there was something. I mean, you wouldn't have searched if you didn't believe there was something. I mean, people only search because there's something there. Innately, you knew there was
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah.
So what? So you
Always.
did the Reiki. You've been meditating, you've trained, you can teach people meditation, you can teach people Reiki, you understand universal energy connecting to home. Where
Mm.
do the animals come into this? What brought you to me?
So a friend of mine had had a communication done
Right.
for their dog. Um, and I remember reading through it and just crying at the depth of what they shared.
Mm,
And I thought, oh my gosh, I want that for Amber. I want her to share with me what she's feeling and what's going on, and how she feels about the life that she's living.
mm,
And that was when I first contacted you.
yeah.
And
And I love
when I
that,
read,
Carol. I have to just say, I love that. I love the fact that it's about, as you've said, about wanting to give her that opportunity to talk about what she wants to share.
yeah, yeah,
And that you've talked about it all being from her. It wasn't from me. Of course, I was a vessel. It was all from her.
yeah, and it blew my mind how how much they shared, how much she shared, even the things that I wasn't doing quite right.
Yeah.
Um, there was nothing awful, but
Mm,
I remember you saying to me, she wants you to really look into her eyes, and she would try and stare, and I would for a little bit, but not for a length of time. And when
yeah.
I started to do that,
Yeah.
just deepened our connection.
It makes
To and
sense.
it just got deeper and more personal, more, I don't know, just more love. I think there was just more love
And
there.
that's what it was all about for her was love. And
Yeah,
her connection to you is all about love.
yeah,
So I'm glad that that resonated with you. Through
yeah.
that, I got an email to say, "Hi, it's Carol. In between my weightlifting and my meditation and everything else I'm healing and doing, I want to pop along and do one of the courses."
Oh, life changing, Richard, just life changing.
Really?
Yes, massively.
In what
That
what
that
way?
first course, I can remember just coming along and thinking, I want this. I want to be able to share what they're saying and share what they're feeling.
Yeah,
There was such an excitement. And then my dog Roxy, who had passed,
yeah.
she came through, and then I just felt pieces.
You're talking about the meditation with the tree.
Yes,
That was
when that
when
very
Roxy
first
came
connection.
through.
Yeah,
How was that for you, hearing from her?
gosh, incredibly emotional and also very healing because I'd had to leave her when I left when I got divorced. And I'd always carried guilt with it, even though I think I knew I shouldn't because I couldn't have changed the circumstances. I always felt a bit guilty. And then when we did that meditation and I connected with her, it was from her, it was just pure joy, literally pure unconditional love and joy.
I have to say, Carol, that as you start, I mean, I feel emotional as well. You're talking about her. I think, I don't know if people at home will have noticed, but there was an orb when you started talking that flew past me straight across to you. I believe that, and I feel very strongly, and I've not had this in any of the interviews, that she's here right now with us.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
she
amazing.
is.
Thank
She's
you.
around a lot, and I've done a communication with her since our last course.
Yeah.
Um, but it was such an overwhelming feeling of unconditional love, pure joy. Absolutely. The fact of me feeling guilty about it didn't even enter. It did not even come into that kind of reunion almost, really. It was just beautiful. Absolutely incredible.
And she's around now. She's clearly around you
Yeah.
all the time. Do you feel her since the
Yeah.
course around you?
Yeah.
In what way? Can you explain for people at home how animals passed over still are around us? How do we feel that?
So I think for me on a like a day-to-day basis, I'll just be aware of her presence if I'm doing a meditation as I get ready for a healing session or just doing a meditation. If I tune into her, it's almost like so I would describe it as when I want to tune into her or when I want to feel her, I send love. I just with my heart, I just tune into her energy and I just send her love and I just feel it. I just feel her,
Feel it
you know.
now. I
Yeah.
can feel that when you're talking about her. I really can. She's a
Yeah.
spirit guide. She's a
And that's what your course has done for me because that is just the most incredible thing to be able to not only connect but be able to share that with others.
that was something you didn't
Just
expect.
beautiful.
You didn't expect it on that level.
No, no. It was, yeah, it was just, it literally, it did change my life. It just changed my perspective of the, the role that animals play. I got this sense of, oh, they call the shots, but not in an arrogant way,
Yeah.
at all, in an
Teach.
understanding way as a teacher
Yeah.
and as a healer for us,
Yeah.
for our souls
Yeah.
and our brokenness or
Yeah.
brokenheartedness.
Yeah. Our
This is
conditioning.
what they do for us.
So you walked away from that 2 days because you got to do
Mm,
loads of exercises. You went out to the animals, came to the
yeah.
horses. How did that feel?
I've not really been around horses, you know.
Oh, it was a big thing for you, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I can remember connecting with one of the horses there, and I got a little bit of information through,
Yeah.
but I just kind of went into my healer mode. I can remember connecting with her and keeping my hand on her and just feeling this beautiful connection. And just, I think I just naturally started to send healing. I kind of looked at her and she's yawning and chewing. And, now I understand what that is and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But at the
A big
time, I remember
thing.
thinking, oh, okay.
Yeah, a big thing to see that.
Yeah.
That's massive in
Yeah.
horses and dogs. It's the same. The release all
Yeah.
comes out. Your healing
Yeah.
was working. They were taking your healing.
Yeah.
Animal
I don't know.
communication is healing because
Hmm.
it's giving them a voice. Therefore, there's a release. Therefore, it's healing. A lot of the time, that's what they need more than anything
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
can share a voice. And
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
guess for that mare, that's what she needed.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you walked away from that?
Um, I think enriched is the word that comes to mind. I felt enriched. It was a different level of connection. And I remember going home and Beth and I had come up together to that course. And I remember driving home and just sniffing my jacket and just smelling that horse. And it was like that sense of smell was that connection and it just opened up
Yeah. And then
something. with
It,
the connection with the
what
horses.
brought you back to the advanced course?
More of the same, Richard. More of the same. Just wanting more, just wanting to be
Yeah,
able to connect more deeply, more
yeah,
understanding,
yeah.
more education in that.
Yeah. Did you find you got that from it, from the
Yes,
advanced?
absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. Something else that I want to touch on. Willow, who's most people that
Oh
actually,
gosh,
yeah,
yes, Willow.
that follow me will know about Willow and the whole story of Willow through my Whispers in the Wind video, etc., and what I've talked about. Willow was a massive pivotal moment for me and becoming a spirit guide for me behind all of these courses, always there at all the courses. However, she drops in personally to you on many
Did.
occasions.
So
Bless her.
it was in the meditation, wasn't it, to connect with a spirit animal.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can remember in this meditation I remember seeing a squirrel that kind of, and then it ran off. All of a sudden, there was this chestnut unicorn
Mhm.
literally in my face,
Mm.
like stood right in front of me, and I could see that glow of the skin. I could see the horn, everything. And she was just there, and I had no idea of the significance of that for you until I kind of, said about it afterwards.
She's there a lot for you.
Yeah, yeah. Quite often when I'm healing, I'll be aware of her presence there.
That just shows how special you are, Carol, and how you come from such truth and kindness because, you know, animals know everything about us. You know, that cat,
Yeah.
that dog, that horse. We're going about our daily business with these animals around us, these teachers, and they know
Mm,
everything. They can read us like a book and some. So there's no
yeah,
hiding from them. They know our truth.
yeah.
Um, that must be for you quite special as well. The Willow's
Oh my
there.
gosh, yeah. It
Yeah.
I can't even put that into words. It's such a deeply emotional connection. It's just something so incredible and so special to be able to share in.
Yeah.
Um, and it's all down to them. It's nothing, it's not us, is it?
I don't
It's
look at people as people.
it's
I look at people as souls. When I look at you, like I look at others,
yeah,
I see the colors, I see the auras. That's what I see. I see what emulates from people, that warmth and that love. And you've got an abundance of that. You really have.
so
What happens now? You did the meditation course with me as well, which I loved.
mm,
Got you doing loads of journal writing there.
love it.
Lots more experiences connecting with emotion, your emotional being, the journey. You took a journey through meditation back home,
Yes,
connected to source on one of those
yeah,
meditations. And you had some amazing
yeah,
experiences. You're always so eager to learn. So what's
yes,
going on
yeah.
for you now, today?
So right now, I'm doing animal communications as
Yeah.
and when.
Yeah.
Reiki, I do, which I love. I still do a bit of PT, personal training. But yeah, horses have very much come in. With Willow coming in, there's another horse that was at the yard for a while called Storm. And she's still with us. She's still alive, not at the yard anymore, not at those stables anymore. But I was doing a healing session one day, and I think the lady had a connection with horses. And all of a sudden, like stood there with my eyes shut, and I thought, Storm's here. When you know,
You wouldn't, when
and
you
I
know,
could
you
just,
know.
yeah, and I could just like feel her presence there. Yeah, and it tends to be people that have a connection with horses.
What is it about horses? Where are they different to dogs? What do you feel in the
I
energy?
think there's a wisdom in horses. Um, there is something very old and very wise about their energy.
Mm.
Um, and just this sense of when I connect with them, there's just this sense of respect, I think, for them
Yeah.
at their standing. Does,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a big energy to them. There's
Yeah.
a big entity. They're big. They're
Mm,
powerful, majestic. You can't
yeah.
help but feel humble in their presence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But also with dogs, but it's just different, isn't it? You,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
horses live more separate from us. Dogs are in our homes. Dogs are
Yeah.
about our emotions and our feelings. They want to be there and support us. There's a lot of
Mm,
love you feel there. Horses, they just stand there and observe and just
yeah.
take it all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's humbling.
There it is. And there's a really deep knowing in them of us. Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they know us. It's like they see into our souls.
Yeah. It's so clear that this journey that you've been on has amplified your connection with the animals, amplified
Yeah.
your connection to
Yeah.
source, to home. Um, this beautiful woman, outside and inside, that has just, I guess, didn't really know where she was going in life
That's true.
and
Yeah.
found her way. And all that helping other people and doing the care that you did, and then starting to have that epiphany about your body. And like I said to you earlier, this finding this strength from the outside also brought that strength to the inside. The epiphany of
Yeah.
almost doing the natural bodybuilding opened you up to so much more.
Yeah.
This woman that searched through religion, but just like me, didn't find her answers, who
Yeah.
found
That's
that
true. Yeah.
confidence to just be her truth. This is something I want to do and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then through that, Reiki, healing, meditation, you put the hours in. I know this from the courses that you've been on. You
Mm.
make the effort with meditation, so you get so much out of it. You are someone that you put everything into something, you're going to get so much out of it. And you have.
Yeah. I love it though. It's just I love meditating and that journey that it takes us on.
It's just been an amazing journey so far to even just
Mm.
be able to listen to that and know that there's so much more to come. I know there is. Carol, thank
Really.
you so much for being part of this episode. Really, thank you so much.
Uh, you're welcome, Rashida. It's
Um,
been lovely. It's always lovely to chat to you. Lovely to be a part of what you're doing.
it's lovely that you are
Yeah.
part of what we're all doing
Yeah.
universally.
Yeah.
Carol, thank you so much for being part of it.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Um, I wish you all the best for the future with what happens and where you go. And I know that Willow will be by your side
Yeah.
and Roxy, because she's been all over today with these
Oh my
orbs.
gosh. Yeah,
Wait till you
definitely.
see the orbs. And Amber's there. You've got so much around you. I know you have, and you know that.
Yeah.
Guys, this episode's been all about Carol. And next week we'll be meeting Carol's kind of sidekick, Beth. But for this week, it's all about Carol. Carol, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys,
You too.
see you in a couple of weeks with the final episode. Until then, bye everybody. Bye, Carol.
Bye.
Bye. There's something deep inside. There's nowhere to hide.